Hey, right hook, woof, you should have ducked. Okay, so today we're talking about the Topping E50 DAC. So we'll be going through the functions and how good it is and whatever. But also what I want to do in this video is see whether it's worth getting an external DAC if you already have an integrated amplifier with a DAC built into it already. And will it make much of a difference, and is it worth spending the extra cash for an external DAC? Before I start though, I will have to apologise if you can hear my daughter singing in the background. It's Easter half term and she's on holiday and I'm looking after her today. She's pretty good, but she's watching Matilda the musical and she likes singing along to it. So if you do hear her in the background, I apologise. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, but the thing with the Marantz, I got a Marantz PM6007. Now, I did do a video a few months ago, quite a few months ago now, where I found out that the Marantz was not putting the AK DACs in the equipment because the AK factory burned down and was in short supply. So they changed over to ESS DACs. So this one currently has the ES9010K2M ESS DAC, whereas this has the ES9068AS, and this is a high performance DAC that's capable of 24-bit up to 192 kilohertz. Also has MQA. Yeah. I don't know whether MQA is any better than FLAC. That's debatable. That's up for you to decide. I'm not going to talk about that today. So yeah, so I also want to discuss whether it's worth spending the money. I got this for 160 quid, down from like 200 quid I think was on AliExpress. Get some good deals on AliExpress, and it came quite quick from China, so it wasn't. So I was quite chuffed with that. Okay, it's not a bad little remote it's got. Okay, just go through it here. You got your standby, boop boop, and then you got your mute. If you're using the preamp on it, you got your volume control here. This goes through your inputs, optical, coaxial, USB. This is an obsolete button, this headphone, does nothing, okay. And you got your line out where you want to choose between RCA or your TRS balanced outputs or have them both on together. Then you got your filters, you got 1, 2, 3. Personally, I keep it on 1. I couldn't hear much difference between the 3 of them. There we are. Another obsolete button. They like obsolete buttons. It's obviously they must use this for some other piece of equipment as well. Then you've got your auto power on off. So that's on and AC is off. I'll keep it on so it auto powers off. Then you've got your brightness control then. You can dim it down. I went on full brightness, whatever. There you go. To get into the main settings, you need to put it on standby. Now some of the functions are duplicated on the remote, some of the functions aren't, so you need to go in to this here. So you press the select button and hold it for 3 seconds and it comes up with your main functions then. So on here you've got the filter, the roll off. So this is the fast roll off, that's a slow roll off linear. That's the fast roll-off minimum. I'm going to keep it on 1 because I can't hear much of a difference between them. To get to the next function, you press the select button. And then you've got the screen display again. That's going to adjust the brightness. Press it again. And then you've got your auto on, auto off. That's on at the moment. And again, if you go to see, that's auto standby off. Then you've got your screen display. Now, what this does, if it's on 1, it's the RCA only output. If it's on 2, it's on TRS balanced only. And if it's on 3, you can use RCA and the balanced outputs at the same time. The next one is, now this, I've got it set on DAC only. So if you put it on MD, it's DAC only. But if you put it on that, it uses the DAC and you can use it as a preamplifier. But be aware, it has no volume button. So the only way you can turn the volume up using the preamp is with a remote. So if you lose a remote, you're buggered, okay? So don't lose a remote. They should have put a volume button on here somewhere, but here we are. And to exit it, you just press that on the remote. Job done. So on the back, you got your TRS balanced inputs, obviously different to normal balanced inputs because they're TRS, but they do the job. Okay, you got your RCA out, your coaxial, your optical, USB, power. I just realised that I hadn't taken the plastic cover off it, so I've taken it off now. I've had it for a while. I don't know why I didn't take it off. Anyway, so that's the DAC itself. But does it sound better than the Marantz PM6007 with an integrated DAC? Okay, well, I have done a sound test, and what I've done from CD, from coax to this, and from coax to the Marantz. But before I, show you the sound test, so you can have a listen to it, what I do want to do is have a little look at the DACs. Okay, so this is the DAC that's in the Marantz PM6007 at the moment. This is the ES9010K2M, Premier Stereo Low Power Audio DAC datasheet. And this is the ES9068A, which is the DAC that's in the Topping E50. And straight away you kind of notice the high performance, Sabre Hi-Fi, kind of gives some things away, that this may be a better DAC. And looking at this here, if you look at the applications at the bottom now there, some of the applications are mobile phones and tablets. Well, they don't normally put the best DACs in mobile phones and tablets, do they? I mean, that's the general rule. So that's a bit of a giveaway there. And they see the applications here, especially this one, consumer and audiophile DAC headphone amplifiers and AV receivers. I mean, for those of you who understand this better than I do, the geeks out there, okay, you can have a little look at this. There we are. I'll scroll down for you now. You can pause the video and have a little look at this if you want. There you go. Oof, look at that. Oh, and the other one. Okay, just have a look at that. You can pause it there. There you go. You can pause that there if you want. And there you go. Oh, look at that. Oof. Geeks, look at all this. Wow, that's a bit too much there, isn't it? There you go. So, on paper, the Topping E50 DAC looks better. But does that equate into reality? Well, let's listen to the sound test. Okay, so what do you think? Now, to be fair, recording it and putting it onto YouTube doesn't do the topping any justice, really. Because, in my opinion, it gives it a much better sound. Now, I wrote some notes when I did some back and forth A-Bing for literally about an hour on different recordings, different tracks. And I made some notes because it's hard to remember them all in my noggin at 57. Okay, you know the score, guys, shouldn't you? So I made some notes here just so I remember. Now, for me, through the speakers, I thought that the voices were clearer, they were more coherent. The bass was more controlled. I thought it was a little bit more punchy and more controlled than the Marantz. The instrument separation was better. It's got a cleaner sound. It's not fatiguing at all, or less fatiguing than the Marantz. And also, I found that, do you know when you get a complex track, it's a lot of things going on. I thought the topping handled them better. Now, I will say that the Marantz is pretty good. The DAC in there is not bad at all. And the differences are subtle, but they're definitely there. And I heard, I would say, a significant improvement using the Topping E50 DAC. So, ultimately then, that's enough of that, okay? So, ultimately, is it worth getting a DAC and spending, I don't know, 160 to 200 pound, depending if you can get it on offer, for subtle differences? For me it is, but you have to weigh that up. You know, if you're kind of really want to eke everything you can out of your music, the sound of your music, then, you know, like me, then definitely get one. But if you're like, oh, what's the point in spending 160 to 200 pound to get subtle differences? Although better, they are subtle. That's up to you. I think it's a very good DAC for the money. For 200 quid, I reckon DAC's 2 to 3 times the price are not as good as that. And obviously, if you're going to use it for your TV or your PC, it's going to improve the sound greatly. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel along. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video.